Medical services in public hospitals may soon be paralyzed after doctors in several counties across the country have issued strike notices. Now, this has been a perennial challenge for us as a nation. So what silver bullet can we use this time round to address these perennial challenges and address the grievances of a Kenyan doctor and the medical practitioners in all that entire matrix? That is our conversation today on yet another landmark edition, show number 201 cumulatively on this channel. And all that is thanks to you for your support this far. That will be our conversation, but before that, my name is Richard Mwenja. Always a pleasure to have you on board. Indeed, I am delighted to have you join us yet again. With me on this conversation is none other than the only name this side of the Sahara in matters public policy analysis, Herman Manyora.
How are you?
How are you, sir?
Wonderful.
You are looking sharp and stunning. Yeah. More of a diplomat.
Yeah, of course.
Are you eyeing an appointment?
Ambassadors are being appointed soon.
Yeah, some are going to be recalled, others...
Yeah. I could be on the list.
You could be on the list?
Yeah, yeah.
Kenya's ambassador to Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
No more taking
no more
our girls to...
slavery for our people there. Every Kenyan slave should come back home.
Have you seen what the people, Kenyans in Australia have really taken to social media about you? They are really bashing you, that you're calling them, they are going to drink and just make merry in Australia instead of investing back.
Of course. It's true.
You now need to watch your shoulders on these
streets. We had a generation of Kenyans that got wasted in India.
You cannot say.
I'm telling you, in the 70s and 80s, a whole generation of people got wasted in India. They came back just alcoholics and drug addicts.
You are from Eldoret North.
I know. And, same is happening now. But we know. But let's continue.
All right, but you need to apologize to them.
I'm not apologizing. I was advising parents. First, I don't think it's beneficial to take a child outside for a first degree. For many reasons I don't need to go into.
Very well.
Let your child get the first degree here and take them after the first degree.
And also there's room for them to check on their expectations.
And I told them that many of the children who go at that age of first degree, they are manipulated by experts in those areas who are waiting for them to turn them into drug addicts and alcoholics so that you keep sending money to them. It happened in India, it's happening in Australia now, it's happening elsewhere. And therefore let your child mature as they do their first degree in this country. And I'm talking as a parent and as a teacher. So where do I apologize?
I hope we've got that out of the way now. Yes. Now we are fine. Please be sending us your support from Australia and all those places.
Correct.
Prof did that out of love and kindness to you all, and out of wisdom as well. Prof, our conversation really centered on the looming strike coming from the Kenya Medical Doctors, Pharmacists and Dentists Union. Across the KMPDU under the stewardship of Secretary General
Patel.
Atela Davji.
I asked him why he has an Indian name, and he said his father had a very close friend who was an Indian.
And that's why he has that name.
Yeah, I thought it was a black Indian.
He's taken to the media.
No, they're black Indians, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, very well. That's
so I thought
nice.
He was one of them.
Interesting.
Yes.
All right. He has actually spoken on behalf of the union, and we've seen several clusters of doctors across different counties giving their strike notices, some coming, taking effect in just a week's time, other in 2 weeks' time. And all this is because they want better working conditions. And from the onset, what they want the most is increase in the salaries to match the existing prices of the change in price of commodities in the market due to the inflation rate that is happening in this country. Every other Kenyan, in whatever trade there is, in agriculture or whatever, everyone is decrying the same thing. Everyone wants a pay rise to match to be commensurate with the change in economic setups in this country. So would you say that we should segregate the doctors and address theirs first without looking at every other person in the public service? Because everyone will say, why give the doctors and not us?
Let us be systematic. And allow me to make some observations. Number one, it pains me greatly and it touches my heart when I see boys and girls, young men and women, whom only recently we carried shoulder high for getting 400 and something in KCPE and getting a final stand in Form 4. We carried them shoulder high.
Pride of the village.
I feel so pained when I see them carrying twigs and lying on the road lying on the road with white overcoats
Yeah, yeah.
to demonstrate. It pains me a lot. A lot. We, as a country, we bring great shame to ourselves. Number two, this issue of salary is very important for the doctors. These are highly qualified, well-trained people. We saw during the corona what doctors go through. If we didn't know doctors, healthcare workers, nurses, doctors, clinical officers, pharmacists, if we didn't know what they do to society, to mankind, corona accorded us a very dramatic way of seeing what doctors do.
And appreciate
If
it.
after that we still can't appreciate doctors, then we are just animals. We are just useless people. But let me tell you this. I don't think top on the list for doctors is really salaries the way you are putting it.
There are plethora of issues they're in.
Doctors, first and foremost, decry the working conditions. No doctor will be happy to see a patient die because he couldn't be facilitated to save life. If a doctor wheels you into a theater, he will save your life. But he's not doing so because what is required, he doesn't have, even gloves.
Protective gear.
It pains any medical practitioner to find themselves in situations where you are supposed to save life. You can save this life, but you see it getting lost because the hospital is lacking the equipment, the essential, the most basic. It is too painful to a doctor.
Very well.
So these are some of the things they are talking about. And when it comes to salaries, why not? Everybody's talking about salaries. In fact, let me tell you this. A few years back, I can't remember when, I think it was in the 90s. To me, those are a few years. To you, it's a whole world. It's a whole history.
True.
When doctors went on strike, I think for the first time in a serious way, you know, matatu touts were laughing and drivers. You mean we earn more than doctors? It was the talk, yeah.
Shocking.
It is shocking to see what a doctor is paid when they leave university. Even now, even with the changes that have been put in place.
Even with CBS in place?
Yeah, it is still pathetic. It is pathetic to know what a university professor earns. It is pathetic to see what our teachers earn.
Researchers.
So, a question of salary, if you ask me, it should not be a piecemeal issue. That's what I thought the SRC was supposed to do. Instead, the SRC has given itself a policeman's role. When some people and their employers have agreed and they have a CBA,
yeah.
SRC becomes busybodies to come in there.
The
When the university agrees to give me some allowances because they have checked they can afford, SRC takes a whole year to approve it.
A watchdog to the public funds.
Oh, no, that's not their role. Their role was to sit down and say, how can we have the basics? What structure, salary structure, do we bring in this country that takes into consideration a lot of realities, including historical realities, where a Mzungu nurse was earning 20, 30 times the salary of a black nurse.
It shouldn't be all about
A
that in the
Mzungu inspector of police was earning several times and living much better in better places than a black police officer. Those are the things that we're supposed to address. Once we have addressed globally, generally, across the board, then there will be sector negotiations, sector peculiarities, and so on.
Very well.
And finally, you ask me what should be done. Eh? You know, there are two ways of sorting out this thing, once and for all. One is the Kenyan way, which is the lazy way. Because we are not used to thinking. We don't like thinking. We don't like disturbing our peace. We like it being in a state of no botheration. So the solutions Kenyans give, even when serious people are meeting somewhere, committee of experts on the constitution, and you know, when serious Kenyans, you know, in the judiciary, when they meet, the decisions they make are lazy decisions.
But we now have a
There is not much thinking. So I want to give you the best solution to this problem given
The
who we are, because we are lazy, we don't want to think, will be to form a health commission.
A health commission.
A national health commission. And the president has alluded to that. You will have to find ways of navigating the constitution, because you have to look at the constitution. Is a devolved function. Read the constitution. The lawyers will advise you if you must do it without offending the constitution, how you'll do it. That's the lazy Kenyan way.
That's the lazy Kenyan way.
The lazy Kenyan way.
How about now the futuristic?
The serious way is to look and ask yourself, because people are saying health should not have been
devolved.
The whole of this week we have had debate on a WhatsApp group I belong. Education stakeholders. I'm telling them education should be devolved. TSC is what it is. TSC was put in the constitution because Kupeta and Nat wanted to guarantee union dues. You get them at the top there and they have those millions of shillings. But education has to be devolved. So if you have to think hard, you ask yourself, even today, is education not devolved? Practically, is it not devolved?
It is quite.
Well, how can you have a devolution without touching health? How can you devolve systems, political systems, without devolving education? Those are the two things that are very close to the people, and housing and things. You must devolve agriculture, health, and education. But because the people who did the constitution did it in a lazy way, because the structures for implementation are lazy, because we have not given this thing serious attention and thought, we think it inherently has to fail, and the only way out is to return health to the nation. No, I'm saying even education should be devolved, but we would need to think hard. How do we devolve health? How do we devolve education even?
Thoroughness and forethought.
So that we can say, for example, the salaries teachers are getting is the basic salary. But counties that have more resources can top up. So if you are getting 40,000 as the minimum, which every teacher across the country gets, which comes from the exchequer, the county can give you another 100,000 if they can. Like
based on their ability.
Yeah. Their ability. We have to think. We have to devolve education. Health must be devolved. But when you devolve health, put doctors under MCS. An MCA walks into a hospital and expects to be treated like a king. Wants to direct a whole superintendent of
the clinic.
Yeah. A whole MOH.
Come attend to my patient first before the rest.
Those are the things you should have thought about. When you are developing health, how do you handle issues of promotion?
Which is one of the
How do you handle issues of further studies? How do you handle issues of supervision? Does the county have the capacity to supervise qualified professionals in the hospitals? This is what I'm calling thinking. Hard thinking. But lazy thinking, you just devolve. And then you think the governor will decide how many people to employ.
Do you consider declaring...
how many people to promote? No! That is lazy.
From what you're saying, did you consider declaring war on cartels also part of the lazy thinking from Madam Susan Nakhumicha, the CS in charge?
That is lazy. That is
health cartels.
Nobody is serious. You cannot fight cartels just like that. Cartels are protected from the top.
And how about increasing budgetary allocation to the health ministry, which will trickle down to an increase in the...
Already there's more money given to health than you need to give free
welfare
health.
of doctors and all that.
Yeah, there's more money. It's a lot of money being spoiled. Like how much money is left at the national level for devolved functions like water, like agriculture? Pesa yote inabaki Nairobi. Look, you devolve water, but all the money for billions go to dams controlled by the ministry.
Universal health care program, it still remains in Nairobi.
So it's just a joke. Those hired equipment scheme, how much money went there? So the real is not a question of adding more money. More money will be required, of course. But even the money that is there today, how much money is given to NHIF for people to steal? All this money can go into providing Kenyans with the free quality health care, where health workers are adequately taken care of.
But maybe that, before you even get that point, it might actually start with, say, the increase in our contribution to NHIF, a new NHIF bill, and all those.
That is also another lazy way. It's a lazy way.
2.75% reduction.
Even if it is 5%, even if it's nothing, it's a lazy way. What you need if government needs a fund for hospital, for
health insurance,
for health insurance, whatever health cover, you can say something. If VAT is 16%, you can say it's 2% across board from the VAT will go to support health. You know that there are better ways of doing it. This one because Kenyans, given who we are and our culture and our tradition and the state of our economy, even if you say NHIF is 100 shillings per month, not many people will pay. You still not get to 35%.
Not many will be roped into that bracket.
No. We are still in 20-something%, right? And yet you say at 20-something, and almost 99% is deducted from source at salary. So how can you even move to 40%?
Quite a journey ahead awaits us.
Of uptake, of penetration, of people on NHIF. But to get to 40% will be a tall order.
Fertile imagination.
Because it's not just the money, even the culture, the thinking. Yeah.
Very well.
How many of us even take insurance seriously, even those who have money? How do you expect a villager to think about insurance? When those of us who earn money, here we are in the bracket of 3% of Kenyans who earn beyond 100,000. And even in that bracket, unless your employer is giving you, we don't take.
Low confidence in the fund.
No, not necessarily that. Even these private insurers. It's not our culture. We are getting there slowly, but we are not there.
All right.
So let us who are enlightened get there before we think villagers will get there and pay 500 shillings or 1,000 shillings.
There you have it. Sentiments by Herman Manyora on this landmark edition, show number 201 cumulatively on this particular channel. All this is all thanks to you. And at this point, I owe a debt of gratitude to one gentleman, sir, and you know him. That's Julian Samboko of National Media Group.
Okay.
This gentleman, I mean, since I was in third year of university, School of Economics at the University of Nairobi, literally took a chance on me. He continues to give me invaluable guidance on this particular.
Young man, I know him.
Oh, very well. Top economist.
Yeah, and he's doing well.
Yeah, and his guidance is what has made Business Glide to be the biggest show on this digital media in terms of viewers. And we invite you over to also make it the biggest show in terms of grossing. Come on board. We'll give you value for your money in terms of advertisement, media consultancy, moderation of events, and all those services you might need in the media world. We are here for you. And one of those avenues to get that services is through this particular show, Business Glide. Reach out to me. I'm at Mwenja Richard on Twitter, at Manyora on Twitter as well, at Jadiel Kabira on Twitter. Go there in. You'll have all that conversation made known to you and all the information you need. Asanteni sana. Julian Samboko is our fan of the week on this particular edition.
Yes. Thank you very much, young man. Keep doing what you are doing, because you're doing it right. Thank you.
All right, Mboko, asante sana, wema uozi. Until next time on the show, see you. Have a good day ahead.